So we are officially in baby step 4 and 6 and finally making some big moves towards our retirement savings. So it's time to break down what we're doing to prepare for retirement. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allison with Baby Stepping to Freedom, and on this channel I share all about our financial journey and give you tips and tricks to help you along the way as well. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, make sure you scroll down and press the red subscribe button so you don't miss any upcoming videos. So I've mentioned multiple times in the past how baby steps 4, 5, and 6 are way out of my comfort zone. So baby steps 1, 2, and 3 were more in my comfort zone, except not because it was an uncomfortable time, but they were more in my comfort zone because I understood that better. But baby steps 4, 5, and 6 are all about investing and taxes and long-term planning, and all of those things are just like way out of my wheelhouse. Aaron is much more familiar with all of this stuff because he's in the finance world. He works in insurance, which is considered the finance world, and so he really understands a lot more of this than I do. But this is a learning process for me. We are both making sure that we're both on the same page. We both understand what's going on. So a lot of that is me learning as we go. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about has been with the help of Aaron teaching me what all of this means, but I'm finally starting to feel more comfortable with what we're doing and make a little bit more sense of it. So just a disclaimer as we get started, what we're doing right now is based on what works best for us right now as we are planning for retirement. This will probably change over time. I highly doubt that we will be doing the same exact thing for our entire life. But right now, this is our plan. This is what we're doing. It'll probably change over time, but just kind of throwing it out there. This is subject to change. Also throwing it out there, I am not a financial advisor, but we have worked with multiple financial advisors actually to kind of make this plan. So I think we've worked with about 3 different financial advisors in different areas to help us gain a better understanding of what works best for us so we can make informed decisions. So although I'm not a financial advisor, this is the decisions that we've made based on advice from various financial advisors. So if you're not familiar with Dave Ramsey's baby steps, make sure you go back now and watch my video on what are the baby steps. That way this makes a little bit more sense. Baby step 4 is saving for retirement. So Dave Ramsey suggests saving 15% of your pre-tax income to retirement. So that's going from what he suggests 0%. He suggests not contributing to retirement while you're paying off debt and saving for an emergency fund. And then afterwards, bumping it up to 15%. So that's a big change, and that's essentially what we've been doing. I'll break it down a little bit and share what we've been doing before now. But we are going pretty much from 0 to 15%, and it's going to be a big change for us. So Aaron and I are both full-time employees that work for companies that have retirement programs. So I work for a school district, and with that comes part of the state pension, teacher pension program, which is a required thing for me. It's not optional to contribute to the state teacher's pension. I have to do it. I wasn't able to pause that during our debt snowball or anything. So I've been contributing to the state teacher pension since I was hired, and that is just kind of there. We have taken Dave Ramsey's advice and considered that pension not part of anything. The thing with the pension is that it's not controlled by us. I'm required to put money into it. My district puts money into it, but it's not controlled by us. It's not managed by us. We have no control over it. And because of that, it's not guaranteed that it's going to be there when I retire. If it is there when I retire, it will be a great source of income. But we are not going to base our life work on that money being there when we have absolutely no control over it. So that's Dave Ramsey's advice. I think that's a lot of people's advice too when it comes to state pensions, because you never really know what's happening in the government, and there are lots of potential changes that could happen during my career that could drastically impact that pension for the better or the worse. So right now, about $450 from my pre-tax income goes into that pension every month. It's a pretty big chunk, but like I mentioned, I haven't been able to change that. And ever since I started working, that money has gone into that pension. So it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind at this point. There's no change in it. I just kind of take that as I can. But the changes are that in addition to that pension, we are now going to be contributing 15% of my income above and beyond the pension to an optional 403b that is essentially like a 401k, but it's for public entities. So 403b is the public entity version of a 401k. So I was able to work with a financial advisor that is actually through my state teachers union and set up this 403b. I actually already had a 403b before I started the debt snowball. So when I first started working, I opened a 403b and started contributing a little bit to that. And that was before we really started looking at our finances differently and making some changes. Once we started the debt snowball, I paused the contributions to my 403b, but it was still there. It was it is, I guess it still exists, a traditional 403b, which means that the money goes into that account before taxes. So it's pre-tax money that goes in, and then when I cash it out in retirement, or I pull from it in retirement, then I pay taxes on it. So that's the traditional version. What we chose to do is also open a Roth 403b and contribute to both. So right now I have a traditional 403b. That was my original 403b, and we just opened a Roth 403b, which means money goes in after taxes, and then when I retire and am able to pull from that, I don't have to pay taxes on it because I've already paid taxes on it now. So the benefit of the Roth is ideally at retirement, we will be in a different tax bracket because our income will be higher. And so the idea is that we are paying the taxes on the Roth money now when we are in a lower tax bracket, so then later we don't have to pay taxes on it. We've decided to continue to contribute to both the traditional and the Roth for my 403b. That way, when we get to retirement, I'll have a little bit of both, and we can pull from either one depending on where we are in the tax bracket at that time, because we might have years where we're in one tax bracket, we might have years where we're in a different tax bracket, and so we can pull from the Roth, which already has the taxes paid, or the traditional where we would pay taxes when we pull it out. So it kind of just gives us a little bit of diversity in what we're able to do in retirement. So we decided to do 5% of my income into the traditional 403b and 10% of my income into the Roth 403b. So right now, a total of $1,300 goes into one of these three retirement accounts, either my pension, my traditional 403b, or my Roth 403b. So like I said, about $450 goes into my pension every month, which is pre-tax money. So it's before taxes come out of my paycheck. About $280 goes into my traditional 403b, which is also pre-tax money before the taxes come out of my paycheck. And then finally, about $560 a month goes into my Roth 403b, which is post-tax money. So I see a bigger hit on my paycheck with that Roth money because it's after the taxes have come out. So it's like a $560 bill, whereas the other ones are before taxes, and so it's less out of my pocket now. But in all, that's $1,300 from my paycheck going to retirement savings, and that is a lot of money. And I totally get that it is for the best and why we're doing it, but it kind of hurts in the moment that's like $1,300 that I'm not getting right now that I've been used to getting this whole time. I haven't gotten my first paycheck with this change in contribution yet. It's coming in the next week. But I haven't been able to see a pay stub of what it's going to look like. So I really don't know. Like, I could probably do some calculations, but I'm just waiting it out to see what it makes my paycheck look like, but I know it's going to be drastically different. So for Aaron's retirement contributions, he is also contributing 15%, but he has some other options above and beyond that, I guess. So Aaron works for a publicly traded company, and they offer a 401k. So he has a Roth 401k. So the money comes out of his paycheck after he's paid taxes. So when we pull from that money in retirement, it will already be taxed. So 15% of his income is going into that Roth 401k, and straightforward, just he's able to just contribute, say 15% of every paycheck goes into this Roth 401k, done and over with. That is about $620 every month that he puts into that retirement after his taxes are taken out. He has had a couple paychecks, I think, because he gets paid every other week. I get paid once a month. So he has had a couple paychecks that have had that retirement contribution taken out of it. It is a change. I'm dealing with this, but it's kind of hard to see our paychecks going down. It's for the best, but it still hurts a little bit. So in addition to Aaron's 15% contributions to his Roth 401k, his employer also matches 4%. So it's essentially like he is contributing 19% because he does 15% and then his employer does 4%. So that is an additional $176 a month that his employer puts towards his 401k. Finally, he also has the option to buy into an employee stock purchasing program. I think ESPP is what it's called. So essentially, 2% of his income every month goes towards purchasing his employer's stock at a discounted rate. So he's kind of done the calculation of what that looks like and what the discounted rate is and what he's gaining from it versus, what he could do with that 2%. And he said it's more than worth buying into this ESPP so he can, have some additional diversification of his retirement contributions. So essentially, 21% of his income is put into some sort of retirement every month. And I don't know what my percent is, but with my pension included, but it's definitely more than 15% when I look at the pension as well. It's probably closer to 20%. So that is the breakdown of our baby step 4 retirement contributions. Baby step 4 is never really over, I guess, until you retire. So we're in baby step 4 for a long time. Like I said at the beginning, it's likely that what we're doing is going to change. We might decide that maybe we want all of Aaron's in Roth and all of mine in traditional, or Roth for everything, or we might start doing some IRAs in addition to the 403b and 401k. We might decide to start opening other investment accounts, different stock things or IRAs, that kind of stuff. I'm not familiar with all of those things right now. I'm familiar with what we're doing. What we're doing makes sense to me, and that's what we're doing right now. But it's subject to change, and it's a learning process. I'm learning about all the options. I am watching other people's YouTube videos and following Instagram posts about how other people are investing, and I'm just learning as we go. Overall, baby step 4 hitting us a little hard in the paychecks. It's just hard to see your paychecks go down that much. I know it's for the best, and I know someday I will really be thanking myself for this, but it's just, something that I'm coming to terms with, that my paycheck is much smaller than I'm used to. So we continue to be a work in progress. We continue to learn and grow and change what we're doing based on what works best for us, and it's fun to be able to move to this next phase of our journey where we're really looking farther ahead rather than in the here and now. We're really trying to make decisions for the long term, and it's a change in what we're used to. So stay tuned, because I will be continuing to talk about our retirement and what we're changing, what we're doing, what we're adding or taking away, whatever it is. I will continue to keep you guys updated on all of the happenings. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here and spending this time with me. Make sure you scroll down and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.